Hey there, Alex here from Sweet Spot Soul. Welcome to another episode. And I want to say thank you for your patience. It was my birthday week and I took some time off. And then on a couple of attempts, I tried to do some videos and it just wasn't flowing. And, I just had my own little experience of balancing of my own energy, right? Like I tell myself, I want to put out this many videos per week. I want to make sure that I'm serving you guys and making a difference and being in my mission. And yet I can't be attached to outcomes. I need to flow and be in the moment. And so I had my own little grappling with that. So really good to continue to learn and grow. So thank you for your patience. I wanted to also let you know that I did do that video, that interview with the couple that does the whole frequency thing, and they measure frequencies and so on. I decided not to put it here. There's just a couple of things that we talked about specific around relationship. It's really valuable, but I put the whole interview over on my other channel. So if you go to the description up above or down below in this video, you'll find a link to my other channel, Alex Sabatelli Rager, and you'll see that I posted that video. So you'll also find links there as well. And I'm going to be putting links to those different those offerings that they have on my Sweet Spot Soul page, which is where all my services are. I'm also redoing that video as well. And so there'll be a little bit more description of the work that I do and kind of how belief systems are formed and so on. I might even do another whole video on that, but just know that that is also shifting and changing just a little bit, and that their offers are going to be there as well. I am an ambassador of their program, and you'll see in the video, if you watch it, that I do get a little something for if you decide to work with them and you use one of those links, and I'm paying that forward to you. So if you do end up getting any of their reports to help you along your journey, it's totally not necessary, definitely helpful, but not necessary. But if you do decide to do that, then you can let me know, and I will offer up some of my time to go through that with you and help you to get the most out of it. Of course, you're going to get a huge report along with it, as they will mention, but I want to add more value to that as well, because it's just a kind of a win-win-win situation in that way. And I really want to help you guys get to those highest levels. Okay. And with that said, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this balancing. So the last video that I did talked about moment-to-moment balancing and how to work with the emotions and the feelings, and also, of course, the different staying present and the thoughts. And I wanted to clarify something that's really important because of the different terminology that's being used. And I just want to be super, super clear that when I was sharing on that video and on many videos, when I talk about getting present, letting the feelings come through, being curious and watching that, but not allowing the mind to go into stories, past or future, just keeping yourself watching what's going on and allowing the feelings to be what they are and move out of you. That's how they transmute those feelings. That's the feminine, the emotional, intuitive side. And that we then can go to the mind. But what I mean is really to the soul, because when you bring presence, this is the key here, when you bring presence to any thoughts that you are having, or just to the moment, is you're able to then bring the mind through the heart, which is called wholeheartedness, which is a mind-heart coherence, which can be practiced through breath, that presence. But when you bring the mind through the heart and you're asking the heart basically to work with whatever questions that you have, to be present with what is happening, and you're looking for answers, that's your soul that you're asking. Okay, that wholeheartedness is your soul. And so as much as we are not the body and we are not the mind, our body and our mind and our subconscious, which is part of that as well, that matrix of dimensions 1, 2, and 3. That's the subconscious, the emotional, intuitive, and then the mental, rational. Those three in the lower dimensions, that's what we're trying to bring into balance. We're trying to get the masculine, feminine in balance and allow for the body, what's stored in the body and the subconscious, to all of these to work together, so that when we tap into soul, the soul matrix, 4, 5, and 6 dimensions, then we can drop that soul through into the body, which can then inform and help us to navigate this avatar that we have. So we are not the body or the mind, but it is our avatar. It is our instrument of the soul. And we've been disconnected in so many ways. And that veil and that wall is thick. And on this journey, you're activated to reconnect. Okay. And we are basically reconnecting strands of DNA back together. And that happens when you meet the twin. And that's what pushes out into the shared energy field all of the distorted things that are not in alignment that are in the way of these DNA strands coming tighter and tighter together and allowing for a physical union to also happen and continue to grow that soul and in that alignment through to the full 12 strands of DNA that are being activated in this lifetime. So I won't go into all the 12-strand DNA thing. I'm learning more and more about it, but just know that you've got a soul matrix, you have a monad matrix, you have a personal logos matrix, 1, 2, 3, and these are real and they matter, and they are all, yes, different dimensions, and we are multi-dimensional beings. And so as we master the dimensions 1, 2, and 3, okay, the subconscious mind, which has let go of they were letting go of the false things that were stored in that subconscious mind. And we are learning how to alchemize and work with the masculine feminine. Okay, that's again, D2 and 3. And then tuning and tapping in and embodying soul as we clear more and more space of the body, the physical, and the mental, emotional, we're able to allow more soul to come through. And so how does that soul come through? It comes through with intention and presence. Not in the past and the future, not in the mind alone, okay? Not in stories, not in expectations, not in judgments, not in false beliefs, limiting beliefs, anything of that. It's when you bring the soul to the heart, you bring presence to the thought, and then you ask from within. And that is what I mean when I say go to the mind later, is to go to the soul. And that's here. And we surrender to that. And then we ask for forgiveness. There's so many things that we can do in presence to alchemize that energy. And I hadn't really talked too much about forgiveness, but it's really important. And I do this a lot in my sessions with people. And I talk about this Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono, which is just 4 statements, which are really important. And I think that they are so valuable to do anytime you feel closure of any side, any tightness, anything where your ego's kicking in, and you're feeling any negative emotions, anything lower on those scales. And that's basically to say, I am sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you, to yourself. And you can say this a couple of times, 3 times for good measure. But when you do this, it's like, oh, I feel that. I'm having a thought that's out of alignment with how source sees it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. It stops the thought from carrying on and grabbing more thoughts like it. It stops you from getting carried away and spiraling out and attracting more thoughts or stories, but it also stops that torsion field, that distortion from going out and creating. Okay, it stops it literally. It's like that's how we transmute karma as well. Something comes up to you, you stop it from continuing to grow, and it transmutes into love. That's that presence. You bring presence to it, you bring the soul to it, and it can shift it and transmute it. And so again, you can allow this every time you feel a closure anywhere in your life, but particularly when you are being challenged by the twin or mirrored by the twin, because that's what they're there to be, is that perfect mirror, that opposite mirror, to show you where you're out of alignment. So I just want to share a little bit about that, just the importance of understanding wholeheartedness. This is moving into the heart chakra. This is where we're coming to exist now. And so again, the first 3 dimensions, 1, 2, and 3, are the lower 3 chakras. And that's what is being purified in this journey. That's what's being purified overall for people, but specifically on this journey, that purification has been forced. Basically, it's been forced, and we need to learn to work with that, clear it, so we can continue to bring that soul through into that, down into the physical. And so when we do the work around that inner union part with the masculine feminine and alchemizing, and we come into that embodiment of soul, and we start residing in the heart, in that presence, in that wholeheartedness, in that love and unconditional love in particular, that's when the physical twin goes through, and throughout this process goes through their transformation in the 3D, and that starts to show up in the 3D, and then they can come in and then anchor and bring this union into the physical plane. And then together, more alchemization will happen, more of that DNA merge will happen, more of your DNA strands will accrete to higher and higher levels of multidimensionality. Okay, and then this love, this unconditional love, can be anchored directly into this planet, into the collective, which is what twins are here for. So while I focus constantly on inner union, that is our work as divine feminines, to do that work and to stay in that. And that is the balance we do when the twin comes in, is we remember this is about me in this alignment, and it's being mirrored and reflected with the twin. And then they come in, and then we continue to stay in that balance, and they keep showing us whenever we're out, right? Until it's just second nature and it just is who you are and it's who you become together. But then that secondary part, I kind of alluded to this just a little bit on the last video. The secondary part then is when the twin is in and you are in union together in the physical plane, where so much more starts to happen, or continues to happen, I should say, with the DNA merge, with the merging of the two, the soul back into one, anchored here in the physical. This is so powerful, and this is the time for these unions to happen. So it is, while I don't want you to focus on the twin as the goal, because it's not the physical twin coming in union as the goal, it is the side effect, it is the mirrored effect, it is the 3D effect of that inner union that we're doing. So stay in your lane, stay on that track, but know that that mirror is there again to help you to alchemize, to show you where you're out of alignment. And I think that I do want to talk a little bit more about some of the ways that that shows when you're feeling really balanced and in alignment, but you haven't, the twin's not coming in, or they're not coming in much, or it's just not progressing in a way. There's things that you can begin to ask yourself that they're mirroring to you in terms of your readiness for that union to happen in the physical. Again, not to focus on it, but when you're there, you're at that place, and it's just, maybe years are going by, there's still blockages there deep down that could be what are directly tied to or related to your readiness for that union. And that can be shown in them being in another relationship, of course, or marriage, or what have you, or even you not being willing to move forward in it. So there's just different ways that that can also show up. So just be aware that I wanted to just plant that seed, that we will be talking a little bit more about that down the road. But again, nothing more important right now than your focus on your inner union and what that looks like, how that works, and that we're working with purification of dimensions 1, 2, 3, the body, the mind, and the emotions. Okay, the subconscious, the mind, and the emotions, or the mental body, so that we can move into the soul matrix of dimensions 4, 5, and 6. Okay, where we merge in. Okay, this is the you pushed out part where we merge, and that's where we really can meet the twin and stay with the twin in the physical. And then that continues to go up to the monad, to the oversoul, which is really where you guys come from, or where the twins come from, is oversoul. I believe there might be different levels of twins. I really understand that to be true. I'm learning more about it, so that's what I believe anyway. There's different levels, but you still only have one. That's your perfect counterpart. Okay, and you are their perfect counterpart. You are meant to be in union. So again, they're within you. So don't worry if they're not in the physical at all, or what have you. They are always within you. They are a part of you. They are you. And so your union is within, always, always, always. And it'll just be then again reflected in without. You can still activate all 12 strands of DNA without the physical twin. So don't worry about that. You're not missing out. It just can happen it just happens in a different way, in a very powerful way with the actual two physical together. So that is an option for many. Okay. So that's what I want to share today. I hope that was helpful. And I do hope that you will hop on over and watch that other interview and check the description box. And definitely, hopefully really, really soon, if not right now, there will be a new video over on the page with my services, with some more explanation of the work that I do, which is not straight up just energy work. I promise you, it's very, very cool. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And then I'll have links for these different frequency analysis, should that be of interest to you, on there as well. Okay, so thank you again for your time today, and I will see you on the next video.